So we had started with angular projection in the last class. Equation of trajectory we have done. For x-axis and y-axis, you have to separate everything. For example, if you are solving the question for velocity or it's for the range of motion or anything, you have to solve it separately for the x-axis as well as the y-axis. So equation of trajectory that we had obtained was this, and 2u sine theta divided by g is the equation of time period. Now time period is what? Time period is the complete duration during which the projectile occurs its complete motion. Now a range was left to be discussed in the last class, and some other terms as well, velocities and all these terms. So a range basically means, see, this is the motion of the projectile, this is the initial point, this is the final point. This is known as the range. Means whatever net displacement that is covered along the x-axis. See, one distance is this also, which you can say the height. This is the maximum height, you can say. One distance is the height. Now this horizontal distance which you get, this is known as the range. So range is what? It's the horizontal motion. Horizontal motion covered in the complete time of flight. That is capital T, time of flight that occurs. So this occurs in the complete time of flight, covered in time T. So time T means what? Complete time of flight. Now again, to get the equation to derive it, see x-axis, if you solve it along x-axis, because here everything along y-axis will be 0 because no motion is produced along y-axis. So you will not calculate anything along y-axis. By just solving x-axis, you will get your answer because the motion is occurring along the x-axis. So x is equal to what? X is equal to ut plus half at square is the equation. Ut plus half at square. Everything will be x over here. Ux will be there, ax will be there. Now ux in the last class only we had to resolve the vectors into y and x component. So y components we got as u sine theta, and x component was u cos theta. Just look into your notes if you forgotten this. So ux is u cos theta. Now I have told you acceleration along x-axis, this will be 0 because acceleration occurs only along y-axis. And what is that axis? Along y-axis, the acceleration that occurs is the acceleration due to gravity. So ax will be simply 0. From here, x, again you can write x, which is range of motion. This is equal to what? X is u, and see, time will be the time of flight, which is equal to 2u sine theta divided by g. Let's put everything in this equation. See, this term will become 0. X, which is the horizontal displacement that is covered with, that is exactly the range of motion. Ux is what? This is u cos theta multiplied by 2u sine theta divided by g. So u multiplied by u, 2 times u then, so that becomes u square. So range of motion is u square 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g. Now see, in this u square 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g, you can use this also, but many a times it happens you can use this identity. See, 2 sine theta cos theta, this can also be written as sine 2 theta. So one equation, the final equation that is commonly used for the range of motion is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. This is the formula for range of motion. Now, if you have to find out the maximum range, can anyone predict the angle which I should put so that I can get the maximum value? What should I put the value of theta to get the maximum value of r? Just try, put it in this u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So just focus on this. If you somehow eliminate or you get the value of sine 2 theta as 1, then only you can say no, this is maximum. So at what angle should theta be put so that you get the maximum value as u square by g? Yes, Maha?
90 degrees.
How much? 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay, so theta is 90 degree. So if theta is 90, then sine 2 theta becomes what? Sine 180 degree. And that is 0. So you're getting the minimum range. Aram, can you answer? Maha, can you try again? See, you are closer to the answer. 90 degree. If theta is 90 degrees, then sine 2 theta becomes 180 degree. And that becomes 0. So what should be theta?
0.
No, see. Sine 2 theta. See, if you put 0, again you will get 0 only. You need sine 2 theta as 1. Then only you will get the value of r as u square by g, which is the maximum value. For sine 2 theta as 1, you have sine 90 degree as 1. It means 2 theta is 90 degree, that is theta is 45 degree. Then only you will do sine 2 theta, you will multiply 45 by 2. Fine, so just remember this for your theoretical point of view as well. Yes.
Ma'am, I'm not sure, but is it 60?
No. See, I have answered. See, this is 45 degree. See, it is sine 2 theta if you get it as 1. Then you will get the value of the range of motion as what? U square by g. And that is what you require. If you put it as u square divided by g, that means it's the maximum value that is possible for range of motion for any value of angle. Now, if you put some other angle, you will be getting slight different answers like u square divided by 2g, root 3 u square divided by g, and all these answers. Now what we'll do, see here, if you put theta as 45, then sine 2 theta will be sine 90, and sine 90 is 1. But if you put any other angle, 0 degree, 180 degree, or any other angle, that will give you 0. Got it? So remember this for theory as well as numerical value also, that for maximum range of motion, the required angle of projection is 45 degrees. One more thing, then you can note down, then we'll do height. Height is also left. Complementary angle. So what are complementary angles from your previous knowledge? In mathematics, we have this topic, complementary angles. Abdullah, what are complementary angles? Any idea? See, complementary angles are those angles whose sum make 90 degree. Like 30 degree and 60 degree, you can say they are complementary angles. Fine. Like this, any two angles that make 90 degree. 70 degree and 20 degree, you can say these are complementary angles. So formula of range of motion at any angle. Theta is what? U square sine 2 theta divided by g. Now, if I take the complementary, means 90 minus theta, whatever is that angle, it will, since the sum of that x angle plus theta is 90 degrees, so that x will be what? 90 minus theta, because these are complementary angles. This will be what? U square sine 2, it won't be 2 theta, this time it will be 290 minus theta divided by g. So 2 equations I have. Now let's expand the second equation first. So this will be what? R 90 degree minus theta will be, if you expand this, this becomes u square sine 180 degree minus 2 theta divided by g. Now there's one identity. I think some of you must be knowing this identity already. Sine 180 minus 2 theta is equal to sine 2 theta. Just remember all those identities that I have mentioned in the class, just note it somewhere. Only those identity will be utilized. So R 90 minus theta will be what? U square sine 2 theta divided by g. And what was R theta? R theta was also this, no? the angle of range of motion is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. It means for range of motion, if angles are complementary, then there won't be any effect on the range of motion. This is mathematically what is meant by this. See, let's say at an angle of 30 degree I have thrown a ball. It reaches this point. This angle is 30 degree. So, and the required range of motion is capital R. Now I have thrown the ball at 60 degree. Height and other parameters will be different. But ultimately, this range of motion, this will still come out to be the same. Got it? This is what is meant by complementary. So note down range of motion, then we'll discuss height and velocity. Two topics are left before we move on to the numericals. How was your exam, Maha? Yesterday you had your exam, no?
Yes, ma'am. It was okay.
Hmm?
It was okay.
How was the question paper? Level was easy or it was difficult?
It was not too hard. It was just one paper.
Now see height and velocity. Two topics are left in this. Then we'll practice question. Then you have horizontal projection, and then your lesson will be over. Now see height means what? What are we calculating? See this distance that is covered in the y-axis in the vertical direction. This is the height. Now, out of all these height, there's a maximum value of this height where you are able to observe that the maximum height has been obtained by all, if you compare all the height. That we are trying to calculate. That height, we call it as the maximum height. So here, see, y-axis, along y-axis we'll solve, because along x-axis you have nothing over here. Along y-axis you have all the equations. So we are trying to find out. Now see, along y-axis only we'll solve. The way in range of motion you had only which component? X component. Now in y-axis you will be having, in your height you will be having only y-axis. See, if we use this equation, v square minus u square is equal to 2as Vy, Uy, Ay, Sy. Now, what is Vy? See, velocity's component at the highest point. Remember, I don't know if you were there or not when we discussed motion under gravity. That time, I think, Maha, you were there. We had discussed that at the highest point, velocity is 0. So, which velocity is 0? The vertical velocity is 0. That's why when we have velocity for motion under gravity, we had this component as 0. So Vy will be 0. Uy will be what? Uy will be u sine theta. Ay will be what? It will be minus g. Acceleration due to gravity. And displacement that is covered, that will be h, which we are trying to find out. Now just put everything in this equation. Derivation is done. V square, so 0 square minus uy square, so u square sine square theta is equal to 2a. This becomes minus g, and s you have h. So minus minus will get cancelled. U square sine square theta is equal to 2gh. Formula of height is u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Got it? Now here your answer will be 90 degree. Maha, remember you had told 90 degree for range of motion. This time this will be 90 degree. See, for maximum value, if you put sine theta as 90 degree, not sine theta as 90 degree, sine theta as 1. So if sine theta is 1, it means you have to, so sine square theta should also be 1, because you are getting this number. Sine square theta should be 1, no, for us. And if you have theta is 90 degree, so sine square theta, it means 1. Square of 1 will be what? That will still be 1. Got it? So if you put sine square theta here, if you get 90 degree. If you put the theta as 90 degree, h is what? U square sine square theta divided by 2g. So sine square theta is what? This becomes 1 square. So that will give you u square divided by 2g. So maximum value of height is u square divided by 2g. Got it? This is the value for height, maximum. Let's discuss velocity, because velocity is very small topic. Then we can practice a numerical. So I hope by the next class, this lesson will get over, because relative velocity has now been deleted. So just practice question based on all these: velocity, range of motion, height, and all these. Now velocity at any instant. So we have initial velocity, that was u. We are not talking about this. We are talking about a random velocity. Let me choose this point. A velocity will be there tangential to the motion. The components of these velocity will exist along y-axis and x-axis. Let's say this angle is something. Let's take this angle as beta. So we are trying to find out this. Got it? V is what? V is the total velocity that is occurring at any instant. Vx is the component of velocity along x-axis, and Vy is the component of velocity along the y-axis. Now, along the x component, if you want to find out x component, see, Vx will be equal to ux plus half plus 80. If you use the equation, V is equal to u plus 80. U plus 80. So everything will be in terms of x. Vx will be u cos theta. Remember the velocity that is towards the x-axis, we always use it as u cos theta. So the velocity here, this will also be u cos theta. Fine. Now, if we talk about the y component, V is equal to u plus 80, we'll use again for this also. V is equal to u plus 80. Just that every component will be for the y-axis. So Vy is equal to uy plus ayt. Now uy is what? Uy is sine theta. So this becomes u sine theta. Acceleration is minus g into t. So total velocity becomes what? Total velocity. So Vx you can calculate it from here. Vy you can calculate it from here. So you will get the velocities, both the velocities you will have. You will have the x velocity as well as you will have the y velocity, component of both the velocities. If x component is asked, just write simply u cos theta. If y component is asked, write u sine theta minus gt. If total velocity is asked, so you know how to calculate the magnitude of it. Vx square plus vy square, the way we have been solving vectors. Tan beta is asked, then vy divided by vx, like this. Just both the velocities will be calculated. How? Both the velocities will be calculated the way you have been calculating normal velocities. Now I'm repeating all the terms once. Then you can note it down. Because same things will, that horizontal projection is easier than this. If you've understood angular projection, then horizontal projection is very much easier. See, this is the equation of trajectory. Equation of trajectory means this curving equation. This is x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2u square cos square theta. Then you have range of motion. Range of motion is this horizontal distance that is covered. So whose value is u square. Okay, let's discuss time of flight first. Time of flight is the entire duration that takes, or the time duration that occurs when the point starts from a point and completes its whole projectile motion. That is time of flight, and whose formula is 2u sine theta divided by g. Then you have range of motion. It's the horizontal displacement that is covered along x-axis. So that is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. Maximum value you will get it at 45 degrees. Height is the vertical displacement that is covered. Horizontal displacement was range, vertical displacement is height. So its formula is u square sine square theta divided by 2g, and maximum value you will get it at 90 degrees. Then you have velocity. For x component, it will simply be u cos theta. For y component, it will be u sine theta minus gt. You don't even need to learn velocity. Velocity, you can just solve it simply by using this. One more thing, class. I have not told you the conditions. No, I had told you in the last class that I'll tell you the conditions for projectile motion. See, certain conditions are there that have to be satisfied. Along x-axis, remember. See, first point, there is no change in velocity along x-axis. Did you notice when you were talking about ux was also u cos theta and vx is also u cos theta. So there is no change in velocity along x-axis. Second point, acceleration along x-axis is 0. We have discussed because all the acceleration is acting downwards only. So acceleration along x-axis is 0. This means acceleration along x-axis is 0. And the third point, that even the force will along the x-axis will be 0. When we'll do laws of motion, we'll see F is equal to ma. Force is mass into acceleration. So mass multiplied by acceleration. If acceleration 0 is 0, so whatever will be the mass of the body, the net force will be 0. Then you have y-axis. Now, y-axis, you have to remember one thing only. You have to remember that acceleration due to gravity will only act. This will be g. Sign you can put minus plus according to your sign convention. This will be only acceleration due to gravity that will work. And velocity at highest point will be 0 along the y-axis. X, it will be u cos theta. I have told you, along the x-axis, there is no change in velocity that occurs. So if any body satisfies these conditions, we say that the body is covering projectile motion, whatever be the trajectory of it. Any doubts? Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Note this down. See, it says that a cricket ball is thrown at a speed of 28 meter per second in direction 30 degree above the horizontal. So angle is given as 30 degree, and you have to find out the maximum height. So formula, and you have to remember all the formula. Now you just have to put in the values. So formula for height is what? This is u square sine theta divided by 2g. Sorry, sine square theta. Now u square will be 28 square. This will be sine square 30 degree. 2 into 10. So 28 square into sine square 30. Half into half, that will be 1 by 4. So 2, and that will get cancelled. 100 by 10 will give you 10. So height will come out to be 10 meters. Just check it once. When you write it down, no, just cross check. I have done it orally. I have done the calculations orally. Please write it down and solve. Second part was time period. Time period was 2u sine theta divided by 0. So 2 into u is 28 sine theta. Theta was what? 30 degree, no? So this will be sine 30 degree divided by 10. So this will be half. 2 will get cancelled. That will be 2.8. 2.8 meters. Third part is what? Range of motion. Range of motion is u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So now sine 2 theta is there. So you will not write sine 30 degree. Sine 2 into 30 degree. That will give you sine 60 degree. Fine. So R will be 28 square sine 60 degree divided by 10. This will be 28 square divided by 10 into root 3 divided by 2. Root 3 by 2 for sine 60 degree. Be careful whenever you are writing range of motion. Because for range of motion, it is 2 times theta. Last part is asking you the velocity. See, velocity along x-axis will be what? Ux, because velocity does not get changed. So you have u cos theta. U is 28, cos theta is 30 degree. So it will be cos 30 degree. So that will give you 28 root 3 by 2, which will be equal to, this will be equal to 14 root 3. 14 root 3 meter per second. Then you have velocity along the y-axis. So Vx we know, Vy we'll calculate by that equation, u sine theta minus gt. That will be 28 into sine 30 degree will be half minus 10 into time period was 2.8, no? So this becomes 14 minus 28. Right. That will be 16 meter per second. So this is Vy. So Vx is this, Vy is this. But your resultant velocity will not be this. Resultant velocity's magnitude will be under root 14 root 2 whole square plus 16 whole square. So when you solve this, you will get your answer approximately equal to 28 or 29 meter per second. Just cross check the calculations once. So simply I have put in all the things in the form. Note it down. Any doubts you have in any part, just let me know. Just text me done when you have written it. Then we'll stop the class. We'll start with horizontal projection in the next class. That will be the last class for projectile motion, so that we can start with